Have you seen the Earth? Of course, we're here. We're on the Earth. But the reason why I'm doing that, I'm looking for it because today's program's called Earth Watch. And I want to welcome you guys to this high-touch, high-tech program. Now for the Earth Watch program today, we will be needing the bag to grab, which has a cup with the lid, a bag of powder with a blue sticker on it, something that looks like a bag with blue stuff in there. There's a craft stick, among other stuff. That's the bag to grab. And not included are, get yourself a cup of warm water. Like just go to the sink. I have mine inside of this cup inside here. Later on, I'm gonna put it inside of a cup, but we just need some warm water. And also 2 cups that are empty, okay? And finally, a tablespoon. And that being said, we can get started. Now, do you guys know what this is? Yes, it's good old plastic. It's everywhere, in every house, in every city, in every state, every country, every continent, probably even every ocean. It's everywhere. Even at home. You guys got a whole bunch of plastic lying around. We use plastics like there's plastic in the fridge, in the microwave, the dog's not made. There's a lot of plastics that you have at home. Even the food that we go buy are sometimes packaged in plastic. And then whenever you throw it away, guess where you put it? In a bag that's made out of plastic. Yeah, so we got plastic everywhere. The plastic has dominated our planet. Full-scale plastic domination. And it's very useful and convenient for us, but there's a big problem with this plastic. It's very, 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 very hard to get rid of. See, nature has a very good way of getting rid of or decomposing natural organic stuff like, cotton and wood and leather and things like that. But with plastic, forget about it. It takes hundreds of years, thousands of years to get rid of those and decompose them. They're just sitting there in the landfill, just doing nothing, just waiting to be broken down, or maybe even on a patch in the middle of the ocean. Nothing but trash everywhere and plastic everywhere. But this is terrible because it causes damage to the ocean flora and fauna and also the animal life and the plant life.
So what can we do?
Great question. I like that even better than trying to be all mopey and sad about this situation. Great thing is, there are a lot of scientists on board trying to fix this very problem. And one of the solutions you guys have inside of your bag. If you reach inside of there, you'll find something like this. This is called Polyvinyl Alcohol. And this looks like plastic. It feels like plastic. It even smells a little bit like plastic. But guess what? It is not made out of plastic.
What?
It's true. It's true. This is not made out of plastic. This is made out of corn.
Made from corn? That's impossible.
I know, right? We did it. Science does it again. Yes, we were able to make this from corn. And that's great because it makes it completely biodegradable. What does that mean? It's very easy to be broken up by nature, okay? And what happens is once it's broken down, it can be reused by nature as nutrients for even plants later on that grow a lot later. And all you need to do to break it down is add water. Super simple. That's great, right? You just gotta add water. You don't have to wait for thousands of years like regular plastic. Since it's made out of a natural organic material like corn, it's easily able to be broken up just simply by water instead of, again, just sitting there in the landfill or in the ocean, right? So in our next experiment, we are going to see how that works. Well, let's dissolve this polyvinyl alcohol, and this is going to be broken down into 2 parts of this experiment, but these are all of the pieces that we will be needing to do these experiments, which is we need the craft stick, the bag of powder with the blue sticker on it, an empty cup, the lid that came along with your 4-ounce cup, a tablespoon, the polyvinyl alcohol, and a warm cup of water. So I have my warm water in here. I just went to the sink, turned on the hot water, and I got it right in here. And now I'm gonna put it right inside that. Ooh. Nice and warm. Okay, so once you have all of these, the first part of this experiment is we want to see how biodegradable this really is, how this water is going to break this, polyvinyl alcohol down, all right? So all we really need to do here is just take this, you can leave it inside of the cup, like so, and we're going to break it down by using 1 tablespoon of water, okay? So we're just going to grab that, just one time, try to fill it up completely, and pour it on. Okay, so we're gonna do it 2 ways, which is you could just use your stick and mix that up, and you could immediately see that it's starting to shrink and it's getting a lot smaller, okay, just by me moving it back and forth like this, okay, and it's starting to, as we call, dissolve and break down. That's why this is biodegradable. Look at that, it's already getting really small, but you can really do some damage, I guess you can say, if you shake this up once you put on the lid. So put on the lid, wait for the click, hear the click, okay, and then shake it. And this is really gonna break it down very well, okay, again, the whole point is we want to show that this is not like regular plastic, which takes hundreds of thousands of years to break down, but for this one, it just took about a minute. So keep shaking it for about a good minute or so. First we mix it with the stick, now we're shaking it like this, and I think it's been about a minute. Let's take a look. Whoa, let's open this up. Look at that. For sure that's broken up. Yeah, and that was just a minute. Imagine what will happen if we did it longer. Okay, so if this stuff was thrown out into the landfill and it rained, it wouldn't take up so much space, right? And also it would break down, and what it's made out of, the corn, is very good for the environment, for our planet Earth, which is great. And that's why we call this biodegradable, and this is a much better alternative than regular plastic. Okay, so that's our first part of the experiment. But the second one, we're gonna turn this into something really awesome. We're gonna make it turn into slime. Oh, really cool. So how are we gonna do that? That's what we have everything else here for. So let's just scoot this guy to the side just for a second. We still need it, but we're gonna use our empty cup and our bag of powder, which is borax, okay? So let's put in 4 tablespoons of water into here first. You can use the same warm cup of water. Okay, so there's 1, do it 4 times, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Don't need the water anymore. Then just go ahead and take your bag of powder, which is borax, and pour it all in. Ta-da! Then I would say use the other side of your stick. Not the wet side, but the dry side. Okay, so just go ahead and mix that up. Okay, what it's gonna do is that this borax solution is gonna mix together with this water, okay, and it's gonna fill it up until it becomes full, or as we call, saturated. So just mix it for a good amount of time, and once you feel like you're done, then it's good. Put this to the side, and all we need to do now is just put it together. Now, we're not gonna pour the whole thing in. Do not pour the whole thing in. We need a very specific amount of this to put inside of here, which is just 1 tablespoon. That's it. So grab that tablespoon again. Now for this, since your water might be kind of small, if you just reach in it, it might not completely fill your spoon. So what I like to do is I like to hold the spoon nice and straight and pour the water on top of it. That way it fills it up correctly. Now I put the spoon right over here. Of course, don't pour in there, pour only on the spoon. Be careful not to spill too much, okay? But just so that it can fill pretty well this spoon that we have here. That's a good tablespoon right there. And that's all that we want to put of this borax and water solution. So let's put that right inside of there. And then you could either mix it or you could shake it, okay? So I like to shake it. I think that does a better job of mixing this together. So I'm just gonna close this up here, okay? And when you shake it, guys, don't just go really gentle. You gotta really shake it. Use your muscles and shake it a lot. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Shake it over here. There's shake it over there. There's shake it over here. Oh, oh. But don't stop yet. You gotta keep going for just about a minute. Okay, so what's cool is that we're really reusing this, right? First, it was just, something that looked like a bag. We might have used it as a bag or something like that. But then it became biodegradable, meaning we were able to break it down. But not only were we able to break it down, which is very good for the planet Earth, also we can reuse it, in this case, recycle it to make something like slime, okay? Did I stop yet? No. Should you stop? Not yet. Okay, just a little bit more. About a minute, a little bit more than a minute. The more you shake it, the better it really is gonna turn. Now, let's see what we've got. Ooh, let's see here. Ooh, look at that. You can use a stick. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, I got another booger. Look at my booger. It's not a booger. It's just slime, guys. Look at that, pretty cool. We got ourselves a toy. We made a toy out of trash. That's amazing. Really cool stuff you could do while recycling. And again, this is way better for our planet Earth because, well, instead of, it staying out in the landfill forever, we could recycle it, or it could just break down very easily. And of course, I'm using the stick here, but you could also touch it with your fingers. Okay, just play around with it. But just a word of warning, parents, try not to have this fall on any sort of cloth. It's gonna be very hard to take off. But yeah, kids, you guys could just play around with this, hold it, mess around with it. Oh, look at the slime. Ooh, there's a lot of boogers. Pretty cool, right? So we just work with a biodegradable substance earlier, but now we're going to work with another biodegradable substance called polyvinyl acetate. And we're going to turn that into something really weird. You'll see in just a second. But we're basically going to take two liquids and mix it together and make a solid. Let's see how that works. Let's do this experiment making the rock balls. Rock meaning rock salt. Okay, so these are the parts that we will be needing. We need the rock salt that is inside of a bag. This bag of polyvinyl acetate, or as some of you call it, glue. Yep, there's a bag of glue. It's blue. There's also, we will also be needing the empty cup. This is not included. Grab yourself an empty cup. The stick that we used previously from our slime experiment, the borax cup too. So this is a cup of borax that we were just using in our previous experiment. We need the tablespoon, and finally, something I forgot to mention, a pair of scissors. Grab yourself a pair of scissors, and now we shall make the rock balls. How do we do that? We're gonna put the glue into there and the rock salt into there. So as usual, what we're gonna do with the glue is we're gonna pinch the edge, cut it off, and pour it and squeeze it into the cup. So grab your scissors and squeeze it out. Now remember, like how we always have done in the past, is we kind of turn the top or twist the top so that it doesn't escape upward as you squeeze. but it only goes downward. So once that happens, then just go ahead and squeeze everything out. And that's good. There you go. All right, so we got the glue in there. Now next is gonna be the rock salt. We're gonna take the rock salt, put it right inside, put all of them. Rocky Balboa. Anyway, we're going to, you can mix it a little bit, mix the rocks around a little bit. Doesn't really do anything, but we're gonna add the borax inside of here into the glue. Now we got 2 liquids, but once we mix these 2 liquids, interesting thing's gonna happen. It's gonna turn into a solid, something hard, like this table. Okay, so let's do that. So you can kind of do it the same way like the previous experiment. Just pour out a tablespoon of this borax into your measuring spoon, pour it out, and start mixing. And once you start mixing, it's gonna already react to each other, and it's gonna start to harden up. Okay, just mix it for a good amount of time, maybe a few seconds, but again, what it's doing is it's basically turning it into a polymer, what we call a polymer. Kind of like how you create plastic bags. It's kind of like a polymer, but in this case, we're making a rock ball. And as a matter of fact, you don't need another scoop. But if yours is not turning hard, you could add another tablespoon of this borax, okay? But eventually, if you just leave it in there, and I know this is kind of early for you, just hold on to it or keep it inside of here for a while. But I'm gonna take this out just to show you what it looks like currently. But the longer it's in the borax, it's safer like that. The longer it's in the borax, the better it's gonna be, the harder it's going to be. And if I take this out, you can actually hold it with your fingers. Look at that, what? Remember, this is glue, but as you can see, as usual, is it sticking to my hand? Nope, it's not sticking to my hand. But it's not just glue. There's some rocks in there, some salt rocks. And it feels weird. Now, if for some reason it is sticky to your fingers, like it's starting to get sticky to mine, you know what you do? Put it back inside. Put it back inside of there, and make sure it soaks inside of that borax solution, and it should solidify a little bit more. So each time it feels a little bit more sticky, put it back inside. But there you go, you got yourself this really weird feeling rock ball. Woo! Wow, some cool stuff. And once you are done with your rock ball, don't just leave it there, okay? What you wanna do is you wanna put it in the bag that came from the bag that we gave you everything in. It's a small little clear bag like this. And then just take it and put it inside. Because if we just leave it out, it's gonna start to dry and crack, which we don't want. So once you're finished with your, once you're finished playing with it, then just go ahead and put it inside of this plastic bag, and you are done. Well, there you go, guys. Talked all about biodegradable stuff. We were able to watch the planet Earth and make sure that we're able to do things to help fix it. So don't forget, reduce, reuse, and eat more cookies. Well, recycle, but we did some cool recycling today. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time.